when John Connor, leader of the human resistance against Skynet, sends Kyle Reese back to 1984 to protect his mother, Sarah Connor, from a Terminator assassin. An unexpected turn of events creates an alternate timeline. Instead of a scared waitress, Sarah is a skilled fighter and has a Terminator guardian by her side. Faced with an unlikely ally and dangerous new enemies, Reese sets out on an unexpected new mission with Sarah Connor to reset the future. Welcome back to another episode of The Geek Master. As always, I'm your geeky host, Cassius Samuels, and today I'm going to review the new movie, Terminator Genisys. Keep in mind, in order for me to do an in-depth analysis of this movie, I'm going to have to discuss intimate details of the plot. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, and you don't want to hear any spoilers, please stop this video right now, go watch the movie, and then come back afterward. Everybody that's still here, try and keep up because I'm going to have to divulge this information kind of quick in order to keep this podcast in a short, digestible format. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get this party started. So just to quickly recap the movie, upon arrival in 1984, Skynet's T-800 is disabled by Sarah Connor and her guardian, a reprogrammed T-800 sent back to protect her when she was 9 years old. Kyle Reese arrives a short time later and is immediately attacked by T-1000. Sarah and her guardian T-800 destroy the T-1000 using acid, and from there, Sarah and her guardian reveal that they have constructed a makeshift time machine similar to Skynet's, and that Sarah plans to travel to 1997, the same year Skynet becomes self-aware. Realizing that the timeline has been altered, Kyle is convinced that the future has changed due to the warning he received in a childhood vision. So he persuades Sarah to travel to 2017 instead, so they can stop Skynet. In 2017, Kyle and Sarah materialize in the middle of a busy San Francisco highway and are immediately apprehended by city police. While being treated for injuries, Sarah and Kyle learn that Skynet is being called Genisys, a soon-to-be unveiled global operating system that is being heavily embraced by the public. We also see John Connor appears and rescues Sarah Connor in 2017, but the Guardian T-800 appears and immediately shoots John on sight, revealing that he is an advanced phase matter model of a Terminator, going by T-3000 for the sake of this discussion. While Kyle is being sent back through time, he remembers Skynet was in the form of a T-5000, we're going to call it, Terminator, disguised as a member of the Resistance, who attacked John and transformed him into a Terminator. John was then tasked with ensuring Cyberdyne system survival and traveled back in time to assist them with the development of the Genisys program. After a series of battles between the two sides, Sarah, Kyle, and the Guardian T-800 make final preparations to destroy Cyberdyne's Genisys mainframe. They head towards Cyberdyne's headquarters with the T-3000 in close pursuit. And during an airborne chase, the Guardian T-800 dive bombs into the T-3000's helicopter, causing it to crash. Of course, the T-3000 survives the crash and enters Cyberdyne Complex, where it advances the countdown to Judgment Day from 13 hours to 15 minutes. With time now running out, Kyle, Sarah, and the Guardian T-800 plant bombs at key points all over the Cyberdyne facility, while also holding off the T-3000 at the same time. In the final encounter of the movie, the Guardian T-800 traps the T-3000 within a magnetic field being generated by the prototype time machine built by Cyberdyne Systems and John Connor in the year 2017. In the process, both are destroyed, but just prior to the explosion, the T-3000 throws the remains of the Guardian T-800 into the experimental vat of mimetic polyalloy liquid metal located nearby. Kyle and Sarah are able to reach a bunker beneath the facility as the resulting explosion from the time machine sets off the bombs they planted successfully and prevents the Genisys program from ever coming online. The Guardian T-800 reappears, only now he's been upgraded with mimetic polyalloy components and helps them to find the way out of the debris. At the end of the movie, the trio travels to Kyle's childhood home, where Kyle tells his younger self about the Genisys program and instructs him to repeat a warning in the mirror. Critical insurance they need to have in place so that their future selves will have the information they need to arrive at 2017 to stop the Genisys program. Sarah, Kyle, and the Guardian T-1000 drive off into the country. A post-credit scenes reveals that the system core of Genisys was located in a protected subterranean chamber and has survived the explosion as the movie concludes. This movie was a lot of fun to go see if you're in the mood for a good popcorn flick, but to be honest, there was plenty to scoff at in this newest installment to the Terminator franchise. The acting by Jason Clarke, Emily Clarke, and Jai Courtney was nothing to get excited about in my opinion, as none of them really were convincing in their roles. To be honest, Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually the best actor in this movie to me, and that's pretty hilarious. The special effects were also pretty astounding, which led to some pretty epic fight scenes, including one with Kyle Reese versus a T-800 in full Terminator mode. But for me, this movie was very bland, and as for any real depth of quality goes, there were plenty of plot holes in the story, which led to very convoluted writing. For one, how does a Terminator sent back to kill Sarah Connor when she is 9 years old reset Skynet's original Judgment Day from 1997 to 2017? The way I remember it, Sarah Connor's life has no impact on whether or not Skynet ever gets created, so it seems to be very illogical to insinuate that trying to kill her when she was a child somehow delays the original Judgment Day of the first two Terminator movies. And while we're on the subject, who sent back to reprogram T-800 to protect Sarah from the assassination attempt if John Connor had already been compromised by Skynet in the future of this timeline? They don't answer that question in this movie, though even I'm sure that they did that purposely so that they have something to build the next two movies on. Another thing that bothered me about the movie was the fact Sarah Connor and her T-800 Guardian were able to build a time machine in 1984 with very limited resources, while John Connor was unable to replicate the same process in 2017, despite the fact he had the considerable resources of Cyberdyne systems at his disposal. This actually just proves to me that, from a writing standpoint, story creators were just looking for a convenient way to get their characters from 1984 to 2017, and they could have cared less if it looked lazy or not. Also, if Sarah and Kyle use a time machine to jump from 1984 to 2017 before John is conceived, then that means that there is effectively no John Connor in the future to send Kyle Reese back to fulfill his role in history in the first place. This would lead to the non-existence of John Connor in his current form, which would mean Skynet wins, right? No, because if John never exists, then that means Skynet would never have to send back a Terminator to kill her, which would lead to the need for John to send Kyle back, therefore meaning that Sarah would survive to give birth to some version of John Connor anyway, which would just put us back at square one. Yeah, I know I broke my brain with that realization as well. Then there's also the question of how is there a T-1000 present in the year 1984? When John Connor and the Resistance were able to reach the time machine in the future of 2029, Skynet was sending back a T-800, which probably means that they didn't have a T-1000 ready. Unless by the time it's Terminator 2's future, Skynet in fact sent back a T-1000 to 1984 and 1995. In any case, it makes my brain fucking hurt trying to think about it. And then let's not forget at the conclusion of the movie, when all the good guys believed that they had succeeded in destroying Skynet, that they took a time to go to the house of young Kyle Reese and force him to memorize a message to deliver to his future self. My whole beef with this is, if this is taking place after Genisys was supposed to have theoretically launched the Judgment Day protocol and ended the world by nuclear war, how was he able to deliver this message to himself in the first place to find out that they had to jump to 2017 to stop Genisys? But like I said, in the end, this movie was entertaining to watch if you ignored all the obvious time travel bullshit. It was funny, had some great action scenes, and made plenty of Easter egg references to the original two movies. But this movie was basically another follower in an indolent cinematic trend utilized by movies like Days of Future Past and Star Trek, where the writers basically use time travel as a lazy plot device that allows them to reset their franchise, even though none of the events changed have anything to do with the final outcome of the timeline. For these reasons, I give the movie a 5.5 to 6 out of 10. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up and bring it to a close. If you found any value in the video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Facebook at The Geek Master. I try to put out at least one video a week, so if you want to stay up to date with all things geek, subscribe to the channel, you fucking bitches. I'll see you guys next time, and I'm out. Peace!